Hello, dear listeners. Hope all is well. Hope you're having an enjoyable holidays with families and friends, etc. I had a few interesting sessions which made me think a lot and kind of realize certain ideas, insights, and I want to share those things with you here. It might be helpful for those that are listening. Basically, the whole concept of relationship and between man and woman and other relationship that people mix and match, so to speak, and misplace in a way and expect certain kind of support and help and ideas from others. This specific cases that I'm going to be referring to using maybe some realizations that I came up with through the sessions. It often happens that people don't understand how to delegate certain expectations or certain exchanges from multiple different areas of our life, and we kind of jam it all together in one area. For instance, people get upset when their spouse is not showing up on the level of a supportive friend and a good communicator and just being there for us, or he or she, right? Or we get, as parents, we get offended that our older children might not be able to be there for us, to discuss certain things, to hold the space, etc., etc. But it's important to understand that each specific designated relationship actually carries specific exchange and specific role. With our spouse, we definitely want to have friendship, and that's what people looking in the relationship when they are kind of entertaining the possibility. You want to have friendship, you want to have deep connection, but there's a lot of misconception there in a way that, for instance, your spouse is not supposed to be your therapist, your spouse is not supposed to be your classmate, kind of energetically classmate friend, a friend that you knew since you were a teenager, where you just vent and you just let the steam and you kind of show where you're upset and where you're at fault and where other people are at fault. And a lot of times I hear and see that this gets all confused, what is your husband responsible for, or your wife is responsible for, and what is your friend for, and what is your family friend for, and what is your that's another question, opposite sex friend for. There's a lot of confusion. People basically don't even have a certain file in their system where for a guy a woman could be a friend, or for a woman a guy could be a friend, where they either religiously or ethically they get really tense opening up, right? Or what if your good therapist is opposite sex than you? What is it that you could open up to your therapist or not? And this therapist always brought you a lot of clarity and a lot of understanding and depth, etc. So it's important to just decide for yourself which role people that surround you are playing out for you. You are the center of certain support system, you're creating a support system for yourself, and you deciding, this I'm not discussing with my mom or my dad, for instance, because they get overwhelmed or tired or scared or worried. You just know those certain things you do not discuss with your elderly parents. Certain things you don't discuss with your maybe children, grown-up children. Certain things you don't discuss with your husband until you vent somewhere else and you kind of process certain things on your own, your journal, and you declutter in a way through maybe sports or walk or even fasting does help. process certain anger or confusion or conflict, inner conflict. You don't want to just dump it on your spouse. Just because he or she is your spouse doesn't mean they have to take all your confusion and all your guilt or blame or self-blame or judgment that you feel like you need to express. I believe it's important for a mature, grown-up person to have no matter what, at least few therapists. It's like a crucial in our days, in our time of days. It's really important to be able to have someone who has the ability to hold a space for you without judgment, without conclusion, without put down, without inability to see you in a certain kind of expression, and just navigate certain story, a certain development that you're going through in a way that is going to have a good outcome. That is the basic kind of point of a therapist, of a good therapist, to hear you out, to help you get that steam out. And even to a good therapist, you don't want to just let the steam out. You want to do it in your own way, in some other ways. One of the good therapists once told me that as habitually as we are accustomed to just constantly, whenever we're stressed out or confused or lost or etc., or hurt, we want to speak it out. It's like a habit for a lot of people to be able to let that steam out. But he said once, try to apply different system for yourself. Try to walk or whatever, yoga, let the mat be your best friend and do whatever yoga form you're used to doing, or just deep breathing. And as you're experiencing certain heavy emotions or certain confusion or certain kind of lost in whatever situation you're in, you try to breathe it deeply in and out and see what difference it makes to you when you usually spoke to someone and like let them be a good listener, and like you do yoga or you do walking or you just breathing or you just take a long drive, for instance, also very therapeutic, helps some people. Some people get into organizing their surrounding, whether it's your office or your home. It's also very therapeutic. It kind of helps you sort stuff, right? As you sort on outside and you get rid of certain things on outside, you also it helps to sort things inside and to just like get rid of certain things. And he basically pointed out and said that it's important to see the difference. And what difference I noticed when, like, what I'm used to, just being able to even to book a therapist for next day and to speak it all out, or just to work out those emotions at the moment with yourself in your own presence, knowing that you have more mature parts inside you, more developed, more connected to God, that are more kind of that have that belief system and energized, etc., to lean on. You have that inside you. And what I noticed, I was actually speaking today exactly about that to someone. I noticed that the emotions that show up become more of a priority than the story you're telling when you are processing on your own. When you are storytelling to others, the details, the bad guys, the good guys, the poor you, the kind of like a victim and aggressor and like all those details become more important. The story part becomes the center of attention. And when you're left for yourself to process things, the emotions that you have hard time processing become the center of attention. The guilt, the blame, unfairness, or feeling sorry, or feeling self-pity, or neediness, or like any of those stuff, they come up, and you recognize it, and you deal with it, and you address it, and you're like, yeah, I know it's showing up. I know exactly where it's coming from, and you know where it's dragging from, and where it's coming from, and which part of your childhood or teenage, or at your maybe young youth, you remember when it started. And it's much deeper work when you are actually able to do it on your own, especially if you're moving your body through either walking or doing Tai Chi or yoga or just deep breathing exercise, etc. Another important factor to consider here, besides the fact that you delegate and you know, with this friend I discussed that, even with this therapist I could discuss or address that, and with other one I will definitely talk, just because they have different backgrounds and they have different skills, etc. But it's important to know that your friends and your surroundings, your support group in a way, could also change. And some people get stuck to the same people, to the same therapist, to the same friends, to the same old kind of, the same way we handle and help ourselves handle certain situations. And it's important that as you change and as you upgrade and as you move on from one chapter to another, you will notice that some relationship will be shaky, and they're about to kind of leave the space, and they are no longer helping, and there's no need to hold them, to kind of hold on to them and like feel sorry that that extended friend that you were connected to no longer serve your needs or understand you anymore, or on the same page with you. They're about different value system or about different interests and hobbies. And it's important to, as it's important to value good friendship, and I think it's an art to hold the space for good friendship and be there for each other, etc. I think it's also important to recognize certain friendship could be respected and honored and express grateful kind of gratitude towards, and you let go. It's important to let go. Time right now changes so fast, and we are shifting from one thing to another, where like before people used to be born and would be. You truly have to understand that friendship should be resourceful for you and for them. And if it stops being resourceful for this way or the other, it's time to be with a lot of gratitude, to be able to let go and to maybe for now it's time to let go and not to exhaust each other, right, with each other's presence, and apologize and just say, I'm just working stuff out, I need my own space, or whatever the story is, and just say, thank you for being there for me, I hope you'll be okay, please reach out if you need me, but I need to step out. It's important to honor your friendship like that, and to know when to stop, when to back out of the relationship, and not to be there too much, exhausting each other, right? Also, it's important not to overwhelm each other with advice, with good ideas, with good concepts, with good support, so to speak. It's important to clarify what support is it that you need. You need once a week, like a communication or a walk, or just a lunch out together to spend some time together, or you don't need any of that, or you need me to just check once a month with a short text, or you want me to process maybe some idea with you. Always check in with whoever is serving you as a friend, and it's important for couples to do that as well, to just clarify what is it that you need from me. And if a husband or a wife are emotionally not present about that, it's important for you to admit, it's not that your marriage is dying off. You just say, my husband is not about that, or my wife is not about that. I could find another person, either among my friends and colleagues or whoever I interact with, or a good therapist that I could address it with. It's so crucially important not to put it all in one person. And occasionally I notice that, especially with a lover, right, or a person people date, the expectations over there are so high, and the exhaustion that they experience from that process, because they, so to speak, gave up on their brothers or their siblings or their father and mother or their older friends, and they're like hoping this person is going to present and give all those things. And this person is not even planning to substitute the dad, the mom, the siblings, the old friend, the friends that died off, the friends that betrayed, the friends that were there, but they're busy right now, they're about the family, they're about kids and stuff, and they're just not available as much as they want to be available. And when you put it all in a dating, or you put it all on one friend, or on a husband or a wife, it becomes impossible for that person to handle. And I don't know about you, but I sense that a lot. Like, for instance, the projection, and I speak that when people come to a therapist, they want to receive the support of a friend, the support of a husband, the support of a wife, the support of a mom that didn't give for the last 49 years, the support of some boss that mistreated you. And I feel those energies are projected on me and expected of me. So it's important to reset and just to say, here we're going to discuss one issue that, let's say, I don't know, victim and aggressor, that you have having hard time living with in your life. Or we're going to discuss ability to relax, ability to let go, ability to set time for resting, sleep well. We're not discussing anything else. And right away, you, so to speak, as a therapist, you return back all the projections. You're not a good friend, you're not a good mother, you're not a good spouse for those that are lacking that kind of interaction. You're not kind of a good neighbor, etc., etc. You are only a therapist, and it's important not to confuse those roles, right? A lot of people tell me, especially when I either do a manicure or just like at the salon or massage, that they end up being therapists. That's exactly also a misplacement, right? When you kind of want, you're already sitting there for 20 minutes and you want to share and you want to connect and you want to update and you want to kind of let go and ask them how they're doing, or maybe ask them a little bit too much, and who is their husband, and are they planning to have kids, etc. And you just like regroup and you say, what am I here for? Who is that person? That person is a healer, a massage therapist, just a person that does my facial, and I am fine just keeping it as this relationship is set for. They don't need to replace or substitute. That replacement or substitute, a lot of people get, what's the word? People get confused with, and people get carried into, dragged into, and really at the core it was a confusion. That person, if they gave you support and love and understanding, they only gave you that support and love and understanding for this hour of service. Let's say if they're a healer or a massage therapist, and that's all. It doesn't mean you have to become friends. It doesn't mean you could develop friendship. You could try, but if it doesn't flow, it doesn't flow, right? And that attachment, you know, a lot of people also come to me with, oh, we already know each other for over 4, 5, 6 years, and we tried this date, this specific, they're not couple, but they're dating on and off, and they constantly, like, we invested so much and we don't want to let it go. At the same time, we know we're not for each other. This is a problem. A lot of your energy is being drained through such relationship. You're not friends, You cannot just be friends. You want to move a relationship into more romantic relationship where there's a husband and wife and a family, etc. But you can't, and it's all stuck on all levels, and they're replacing you, either mom or dad, or a good friend that you don't want that friend to be there. You rather it will be your wife, and it all becomes confusing. And it's important to clarify, who is that person for me? And who am I for her? Is there a fair exchange? Is there a fair, common kind of interest in this relationship? Or I don't have what to give or what to ask for. That's another important point that I wanted also to mention. People think in friendship you always have to be able to give, to, so to speak, to show up. It's true, you should be able to know what to give, as we spoke about it, whether it's a good communication or just checking on a person, or just hello and how you been, and didn't hear from you in a while. But it's also, in a good friendship, it's important to be able to ask. If you need help, a good friendship, it's not about ability to give, it's also about ability to ask. If you're not able to ask, or you're usually turned off, or usually nobody has time for you, or there's no kind of place for you, and there's no carry on in the certain development that whatever you are about right now, and you cannot ask that person, you just say, but there is an area that we still have an exchange, or there is no area whatsoever that we have an exchange. And if that's the case, then you just deep inside, you don't have to say much, you don't have to be too kind of cheesy in a way, right? Deep inside, you say thank you to God for this friendship. It exhausted itself, it did what it did, and time to let go, right? But if there is something there and you still appreciate that one element, treasure it, honor it, celebrate it, and just show up in that exchange. And with everything else, you go somewhere else, as I mentioned. So it's important to kind of study that, to even understand it. What does friendship means right now for me? When I was 15, when I was 25, when I was 30, it meant one thing. Now it means different things, and it could change, and it should change. Right? A lot of people have those confusion. I always with my friend, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to always be sticking to the same rules and regulations in anything. We are evolving and we are changing, and things do change. And if we are heavy about, in this case, about friendship and certain like close relationship, then it becomes heavy for a person. Sometimes casual, sometimes light, sometimes just in and out is also good. It's also showing up. It's also being there. It's not always just has to be like with the same value system. Another mistake people make, if I didn't do this to my friend, I expect my friend never to do it with me. And that's also a wrong kind of approach. That means you are trying to equal everyone to yourself. That means whatever values you have, if you don't do certain things according to certain standards, it doesn't mean that your friend would follow it. And if your friend doesn't follow it and it upsets you, you could gently bring it up, but not because you didn't do it or you would never allow yourself to be as such. It's just because it upsets you at this moment, and you are different, and you know you're different, and you like your friend in a different ways, and they don't have to be similar to you. So that's that. I hope this was beneficial and interesting. Please let me know if there's anything else you would like to discuss, and we will reconnect shortly. Take care.